Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to study about shortest length paths. Recall that the length of a path is the number of edges in the path, and when we want a shortest length path, what we are looking for is among all the paths, we want to find a path with the minimum length. So you can set the weight of every edge as 1 and then call one of the well-known shortest path algorithms, but what we will see is that using BFS algorithm, we can modify BFS algorithm, keep track of what is known as the level of a node in the DFS tree, which will give us the length of the shortest path. So the length of the shortest path can be found in linear type, so linear in number of nodes and number of edges in the graph using BFS. That's what we're going to study in this video. So in this video we're going to study about how to compute the shortest length path using BFS. Let's first define what's a shortest length path. This is defined for both directed as well as undirected graphs. Given a source vertex, we want to find the shortest length path from the source vertex to every other node in the graph. So what's the length of a path? The length of a path is the number of edges in the graph. Edges in the path. We know that the number of paths from a source vertex and a destination vertex can be exponential in number of nodes in the graph. So among all the paths in the shortest length path, what we want to find is the path whose length is minimum. Okay, so this has several applications. Let's try to see how this can be done using the BFS algorithm. So one way to solve this problem is to set the weight of every edge to be 1 and call the Dijkstra's algorithm. Since all the weights of the graph are going to be positive, you can call the Dijkstra's algorithm to compute the shortest path from the source vertex to every other vertex. But the only problem is that this will take order n plus m into log of n. So using the BFS, we can solve this in linear time. So let's set the so what we are eventually computing is the level of every node in the BFS tree that we are going to compute. So let's set the level of a node to be infinity to begin with. Then you start with the source vertex, push that into the queue, and then set the level of the vertex I, which is S, right? So this should have been S. Level of the starting vertex is 0. Then what we do is that when you dequeue an element, if the end vertex is not been visited yet, so then you add that into the queue, set the pi function, set that this vertex has been visited. You don't have to visit this vertex again, but set the level of V to be the level of U plus 1. So in the BFS tree, V comma pi of V is going to be the edge in the pi of pi of V comma V is the edge in the BFS tree. So the level of V will be level of U plus 1. So let's look at this example. So if you apply BFS on this graph, you get the BFS tree like this. So the pi functions are shown as before. So level of the node 0 is 0 here. Level of the node 1 is 1, level of the node 2 is also 1, level of 3 is 2, and level of 4 is also 2. So when you discovered the node 3, you set the pi of 3 to be 1. So that means that pi of 3 comma 3 is an edge in the BFS tree. So when you did that, this is what you did when you applied, so when you deleted 1 from the queue. When you deleted 1 from the queue, you visited V. So you set the level of V, level of 3 to be 1 plus the level of the parent, which is 1, right? So the level is defined in a tree as level of the root node to be 0 and level of any other vertex in the tree is 1 plus the level of the parent. Since V is being visited from the vertex U, and we know that pi of V comma V is an edge in the BFS tree, level of V is being set as level of the vertex U plus 1. So this is just adding a few lines into the BFS algorithm and compute the level of each node in the BFS tree of the BFS table. So you look at this, what is L doing? L is the level of each node in the BFS tree. So what is the BFS tree? After you apply BFS algorithm, the pi of v comma v is a collection of n-1 edges which forms a tree that's called as a BFS tree. L is the level of each node in the BFS tree. The level of the root node is 0, level of any other node is defined as 1 plus the level of the parent. Now an important theorem comes in. After you compute the level of every node, level of the node V is the length of the shortest length path from S to V. Let's try to prove this. If L of V continues to be infinity, we initialize this to infinity, then this particular node V is not reachable from S. Okay, so in that case we set the length of the shortest length path from S to V is infinity, because there is no path from S to V. And clearly, so if you look at L of V, there is a path from the source to this particular vertex V whose length is exactly equal to L of V. So that path can be traced by following the pi function. There exists a path of length exactly equal to L of V. So now, so why is this the shortest length path? So let's take an optimum d be the length of the shortest length path from S to V. So there are d vertices from S to V. The number of edges is V. So except the vertex V, there are actually d number of vertices that you see along this path. Now what you notice is that if you look at the L value of all these vertices in the L value of V in the DFS tree, this has to be exactly equal to D, right? So that means that what we are computing is actually the shortest length path. So let's this proof is by induction. Let's just look at the source vertex. The level of that is 0. Now if you just look at the immediate adjacent vertex to this, right, his level will be 1, because by definition this will be 1 plus the level of the parent. Now if you look at the element whose level is I, by induction let's assume that all the nodes till I minus 1 in this path have been computed correctly. So when you look at when you delete this node from the queue, you're going to look at all the adjacent vertices of it, and among the vertices which has not been visited so far, you're going to so which has not been visited so far, you're going to set the pi value of that to be u, and then you're going to set the L value of this to be 1 plus the L value of the node from where you came from. So by induction you can see that for every vertex along this optimum shortest length path, the L value of everything has been set appropriately. In particular, we want to claim that L of V value will be exactly equal to D. So if you want to find the shortest length path, just apply BFS. During this process you compute the level of each node in the BFS tree. So that is the length of the shortest path, length of the shortest length path. And if you want to know the exact path, just follow the pi function. That will give the shortest length path from S to the source vertex. So in summary, the shortest length path in a directed or undirected graph can be found in linear time. So let's look at what is the diameter of a graph. Diameter of a graph is defined as the maximum distance between two nodes of a graph. So what's the distance between two nodes of a graph? Distance between two nodes of a graph is the weight of the shortest path between them. Right? You take any two vertices, find the shortest weight path, shortest path. Then you find it for every pair of vertices. Keep track of the maximum value of them. Right? So that is the diameter of a graph. Note that the diameter is not same as the longest path in the graph. So the longest path, what we are saying is that we want a path where the weight of the path is maximum. That's not what we are looking at. So in the diameter, what we are looking at is you look at all possible shortest paths. Among all shortest paths, you find the maximum one of them. So by definition, this can be found by the Ford-Warshall algorithm, which is a brute force way of computing this. So what you can do is that you can find the shortest path between every pair of vertices. So once you find, you have the D matrix, D of I comma j will give you the weight of the shortest path from I to j. So this can be done in order n cube. and so in this matrix you find the largest value, so that will be the diameter of the given graph. So this will take order n cube. Probably this is the best one we can do if the in a general graph. So if all the edges have unit weight, then the distance between nodes becomes the length of the shortest path between the nodes. So what you could do is that you can start with the vertex, apply DFS, find the L values. So when you find the maximum value of L, so you will see the furthest node from the S, right? If you fix a source vertex, from this vertex you will know what is the maximum length of the path from to any other node in the graph. So once you fix the source vertex, so by definition what you need to do is that you need to repeat this algorithm with every node, starting with every node, right? So by applying BFS algorithm starting with every node n number of times, we can find, keeping track of the maximum value of L all the time, we can find the diameter of the graph. So I repeat, start with every vertex of the graph, apply DFS from every vertex of the node, keep track of the maximum value, so that will give you the furthest node starting with X, right? So keep track of the maximum all the time, so that will give you the diameter of the graph. So in the case of a directed undirected graph, let G be the undirected graph here. Let L be the maximum level of any node when applied BFS from a source vertex, right? So I started with a source vertex, I found the level to every other node, L be the maximum such level that is possible. Let D be the diameter of the graph. If D is the diameter of the graph, then there should be two nodes in the graph such that the D is the length of the shortest length path between U and V. So let D the D will be exactly equal to the length of the shortest path from between U and V. So let U and V be these two vertices. I applied BFS from the source vertex S. So if I want to get a path from U to V, so one of the paths is you start with U, you go to S, then from S you go to V. So the length of this path is L of U, the length of this path from S to V is L of V. So I have a path which is L of U plus L of V, but the shortest length path could be shorter than this. So the D will be smaller than or equal to L of U plus L of V. But so L is maximum among all the L values that I have. So in particular L of U should be smaller than L, and L of V also should be smaller than L. So the D will be smaller than 2L. So D will be smaller than 2L. So this is L is the maximum value of L that I got when I applied from S. D is the maximum distance between any two pair of vertices. So the D will be always be greater than L. So the the L value that I find will be will satisfy this property that this D is slightly greater than L. The optimum diameter is always going to be greater than L, and it is going to be shorter than smaller than or equal to 2L. So if you are not exactly interested in the diameter, but if you just want to know the approximate value of D, if you just find the value of L, then you know that your D will be between in the interval L to 2L. So if you're not interested in finding the exact value of the diameter, but if you want to just know the approximate value, in other words, I'll give you an L and you know that the D is between L and 2L, so this can be done in linear time, right? The summary is there is a linear time algorithm to approximation algorithm to compute the diameter of an undirected graph. So if you want to compute exactly the diameter, then you have to apply the BFS n number of times. That will take order n into n plus m time. So let's quickly ask the question whether the previous theorem is true for directed graphs. So if you have this particular graph, so you can see that the diameter is starting with the vertex 0, and there are n nodes. The diameter is basically n minus 1. So but if you start with the node this n minus 2, so the maximum L value that you can get is only 1, right? You can start here and come here. So the twice of this will be 2. So the diameter is not going to be smaller than 2, right? So the previous theorem that I wrote, if you start with any vertex and compute the L, your diameter is going to be smaller than 2L, is only true for the undirected graph. This is not true for the directed graph. This is an example. If you start with n minus 2, the maximum L that you can get is only 1, and so the diameter of this graph is n minus 1. In this video, we have seen how to compute the shortest length paths in a given graph, and we have used that algorithm to find what is known as diameter of the graph. And we have also seen that in the case of an undirected graph, the approximate diameter can be found in linear time. In the next video, we'll come back to another application of BFS. Take a break and come back.